So this isn't quite the video that I had originally planned. This was originally going to be a video purely on the mac and cheese hot and savoury because it's one of the most requested videos I've had for a while. And then about a week before it was due to go out, I'd filmed it, I'd done it, and then was ready to go out. They've announced 2 new pastas, which is quite exciting because actually having done the taste test, you'll see my results in a minute, did the mac and cheese, and it was good. And the pasta adds a lot extra to it. Actually, it's really nice because of the pasta. So they've now announced 2 new pasta additions to the hot and savoury. So there is chicken and mushroom and Cajun pasta. So I'm just going to let the video play as I originally had for the mac and cheese, and then I'll come back at the end and I'll give you my thoughts on the chicken and mushroom and the Cajun pasta, because yeah, if they're as good as the mac and cheese, I'm excited about this. So yeah, anyway, let's roll the original video and we'll go from there. So, as I said last week, this is going to be a bit of a Huel heavy sort of run up because there are just some new products I want to try, and this is one that I have been really keen to try. This one which you have been keen that I try as well, so there have been lots of comments on my previous videos about whether I'm going to try this, and it's one that I even had a discussion before it was announced with somebody that said this is what they should do, and it is the mac and cheese Huel. I'm excited about this. I take my mac and cheese pretty seriously. I am running a vague series. I'm not always completely consistent with it, but on my Instagram page, Dirty Fridays, where part of the whole Huel thing is a lot of people have said, do I not like food? Is that why Huel? And actually, I love food, and that's why Huel, because I love food a little bit too much. I tend to overindulge a little bit too much. So Huel helps me rationalize how many calories I'm having during the day so that then I can kind of enjoy my food more in the evening. Dinner is probably my favorite meal. And particularly, I'm a big believer in, if you're going to indulge, do indulgence properly. So Fridays, Dirty Fridays, me and my wife, we think about it during the week and think, what do we really want as our Friday end of working week treat? And so we've done some fantastic thing. We did a cheeseburger lasagna, which is not just cheeseburgers put in an oven, which somebody thought it was. We do tacos, we do white people taco night, burgers, and pizza, anything and everything, just to really enjoy the pleasure of cooking. And mac and cheese is one of my favorites. I do take it seriously. I've really weird mac and cheese recently. It was a recipe that I got through Gousto. So I've done a Gousto HelloFresh comparison a couple of years ago. I need to update one of them. If you'd like to see that, let me know down in the comments. But yeah, got a Gousto mac and cheese. The other was a Chipotle mac and cheese. Thought that sounded fantastic. It was a fantastic pasta bake, but it was not mac and cheese. There was not enough cheese in it. There was not enough creaminess. It was creme fraiche and a bit of cheddar, but then a whole lot of tomato paste and chipotle paste, fried onions and peppers, and then with a crispy topping. It was a lovely, lovely flavor. Do not get me wrong, but it wasn't mac and cheese. It wasn't creamy, thick, unctuous, cheesy goodness. So it'll be interesting to see whether this lives up to it. Now, what's interesting is because it is Huel and it's kind of they're very keen on all these things, is vegan suitable. So although it's cheese, Cheeze, so it's vegan cheese. It's a lot of theirs is gluten free. Yeah, this has wheat in it, so this is not gluten free, but a lot of their other options are. But it is vegan cheese, so that's good. So they also sent me a slightly new and improved Huel hot and savoury to go pot. In terms of what's new and improved about it, it's now got a matte finish. That seems to be about it. I don't know whether it's made of a different plastic, but they seem to send you one with each Huel hot and savoury order, which is quite nice. And then the white scoops are for the hot and savoury. I want to see how it looks. And so actually I want to make it in a bowl so you can actually see. There's also the question of, they say 2 scoops, and I've discussed this on the videos of hot and savoury before as well. Because there are always chunks in here, trying to find the right balance of chunks to powder sometimes becomes a bit of a challenge. So let's see if we can get that right. And getting the right amount. So that was where that thought was going. Getting the right amount can be quite a challenge. So they say you want 2 scoops, which should be, on the other ones, it actually had how much you should have. So 102, okay. 102 grams, so 2 scoops should be 102 grams. Sorry, it took me a moment there. Each of the different Huel Hot and Savouries has slightly different amounts. So that's where I think they've gone with 2 scoops is just easiest. Trying to mix this up so that I get a good mix of Huel and powder. Yeah, 104 grams. That was pretty spot on. It hasn't been before. I've had to do kind of 2.5 scoops before. So it's then that to 250 ml of water. Rather than go and deconstruct this, I'm just going to take a quick video so I can show you. So that's the texture dry. So there's actually a lot more pasta in here than there are in some of the other hot and savouries. I think I had a different jumper on when I started this video. It's not great for the continuity, is it? If in doubt, get a bigger bowl. So, texture before I cover it. Cover it and we leave it for 5 minutes. Obviously when it's in this, you don't need to cover it, because well, you do cover it because it's got a lid. I don't normally cover it, but because this is kind of the trial run, I wanted to see how it got on with covering it. Because it's got pasta in there, I sort of feel like it needs to keep the heat in to cook a bit better. So it's been 5 minutes and I've dragged Emma out with me, which she's loving right now because she feels so glamorous, and I haven't interrupted her midway through her working day just to come and taste some mac and cheese. I kind of want her view on this as well. So actually looks pretty good and gloopy. I know this is weird, doing a video of a video, just to give you some idea of the texture. Yeah, that, I was talking earlier about the Gousto mac and cheese and how it was a lovely pasta bake, but it wasn't actually mac and cheese. This is completely vegan.
Okay, so what's making it cheesy?
No idea. The yeasty thing.
And I wondered if it was being nutritional yeast.
Nutritional yeast.
Yeast extract.
Yeah, yeast extract. Smoke flavouring, it's always good. Cheese style seasoning.
Come on, let's try it.
Okay. Right.
I'll go first.
I'm going first, am I? It's going to be hot and savoury. Could probably do with another couple of minutes. The pasta is still has a tiny bit of crunch to it. It doesn't have the Huel taste. You know that that's in every bit of Huel, has that Huel taste.
It's not bad.
Damned with faint praise. It was a quick and easy lunch.
It reminds me of something I can't quite put my finger on it.
Is it mac and cheese?
I don't know what it is. There's a sort of something fragrant in there which tastes a bit odd, I think. Coconut milk powder, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can taste the coconut milk.
Because it's lactose free as well. So it's lactose free dairy, yeah. So it's completely, so to try and get it creamy, you get it more after you've finished. You don't get it on the first taste, and then you're kind of left with this coconutty aftertaste. I would say the texture is pretty good for mac and cheese.
It's quite different from the other hot and savouries as well, which is nice.
Feels like it could do with a bit of salt.
Cheese.
Yeah. Yeah, bit of real cheese in here would be great. Better than I was worried it might be. Are you not convinced? And you don't
eat these as regularly as you do anyway.
Yeah, you don't have, yeah.
I wouldn't mind eating that. I don't have a real deal, probably. That's a quick thing.
Yeah, as a quick thing, that's a good option. So I think that kind of sums it up. So there are now 7 flavours. I would say a good selection of 3, because you do have to buy them. Yeah, annoyingly, you have to buy them as a pack of 3. Not of the same flavour, but you can, it's a minimum order of 3 flavours. If you were to go with 3, I think mac and cheese, Thai green curry. Mac and cheese. One of the curries, I'd say Thai green curry is my favourite. And the madras and the korma, they're both good. If you wanted to go with a kick of heat, the madras is worth going for. And then either the chili or the tomato and herb. The chili is Not dissimilar to the tomato and herb, it just is slightly spicier, slightly more savoury flavours. So yeah, so I would say that would be a good, so either tomato and herb or chili, one of the curries, and then a mac and cheese, and you've got 3 different meals that each day you'd be able to have a different taste sensation. But yeah, actually, the texture, I would argue, is better than Kraft mac and cheese, which I know is a controversial opinion. That's possibly because I haven't cooked that much Kraft mac and cheese, but I never seem to be able to get it the right consistency of gloopy. It's always either too thin or too thick, whereas this is pretty good. I'm going to carry on eating this now. So, chicken and pasta. Although it's called chicken and pasta, they have put a little apostrophe in. It is completely vegan, like the mac and cheese. So it's chicken flavour bits rather than actual chicken. As an ex-vegetarian, I'm never 100% sure how I feel about vegetarian and vegan things being designed to look, taste, and feel like meat. I'm not sure I can entirely see why we need to do that as often. However, we got mac and cheese and Cajun pasta. So the good news is if you just don't want anything that looks or tastes like chicken, there is a way to avoid that. It's penne rather than macaroni, which means it's slightly bigger pasta chunks. What I would say is it makes mixing the bag thoroughly to get a combination of both the pasta and the powder mix more difficult. There's part of me that feels like maybe it would be easier to do it in 2 bags where you have a bag of pasta and a bag of powder. Because I've mixed up the first one and it just feels very runny when I've mixed it up. I'll see how that is obviously once it's cooked. And I suspect that although it says leave it for 5 minutes, we may need to leave it for slightly longer. I found with the macaroni, when I did the first one, it was absolutely fine. I've then had it a couple of times since, and yeah, it just benefits from being left for sort of 6-7 minutes, slightly longer if you can, just to let the pasta really cook through, because it is quick cooked pasta, but it can be a little bit crunchy. It's not just al dente, it's crunchy if you don't let it completely cook. So yeah, I'm interested to see. I suspect that every single batch of this I make up will be slightly inconsistent because it's very difficult to get a consistent ratio between the powder and the pasta where you've got that much big chunky pasta in there. But yeah, be interesting to see. Right, I'm just going to let it sit for 5 minutes, maybe 7, and we'll see how it's getting on then. So 5 minutes is up, and yeah, it's like a pasta soup rather than a pasta with a sauce, which is not a problem. I think the penne has cooked quicker than I thought it would. There's no crunch. It's always nice to have pasta with no crunch. It's tasty. I know I sounded surprised there. If you've watched my reviews, you will know that I talk regularly about the Huel flavour, and actually, it's not there. It tastes like chicken and mushroom pasta. That's really nice. It's actually, you could make a better one yourself at home if you wanted to. It might have a bit more flavour, it might have a bit more pizzazz, but actually, this is lovely. It hits the spot. Yeah, I'm quite impressed with that. Yeah, and the penne is really well cooked. Like, not by Italian pasta standards, but by instant meal standards. Yeah, that's good. I approve. Excellent. Looking forward to trying Cajun pasta next. So, back in the van again today for lunch, and we've got Cajun pasta today. Another vegan one. This one seems to be peppers and sweet corn and a sort of tomatoey, more peppery, I guess, sauce. Got a bit of spice to it. Not hot spice, but a bit of spice. Yeah, I definitely noticed this morning. So I opened the bag, and if you've let everything settle, you will just see it. It's just pasta on top. So it's definitely worth giving everything a really good shake to try and mix everything up. The problem is then, if you're just using the scoop method, because the penne doesn't sit comfortably into the scoop, they say 2 scoops to 200 ml of water, or 98 grams. 2 scoops is not 98 grams. 2 scoops actually came to about 70, so I ended up needing to do nearly 3 scoops to be able to actually get a proper weight. But yeah, it's just little quirks like this that are definitely worth being aware of. It was less of an issue with the mac and cheese. This one, because the pasta is bigger, it just doesn't sit in there quite as comfortably. But yeah, I'm looking forward to trying this. It should be good. It smells amazing. Actually, I have to say, the smell. There is, with this one, more than I noticed with the mac and cheese or the chicken and ham, notice that it just has a little bit of that background hueliness in the smell. But yeah, hopefully it'll come across really nicely, be tasty in terms of the actual pasta. So we shall see. Right, so Cajun pasta. I think I definitely got the ratio of sauce to pasta better today. It's more like a pasta rather than a pasta soup. However, it then means it takes slightly longer to cook the pasta. The pasta is slightly crunchier today. It's tasty. It's actually not dissimilar to the flavour of the chili, confusingly. I do feel like Huel Hot and Savoury sometimes overcompensate for flavour by adding in spice. There feels like this needs a bit of salt or a bit of something just to lift it a little bit, but it's really tasty. And the texture, definitely better. I got a better mix here. Generally, hot and savoury pastas, I really like them. I have to say all three, I think, were very good. There is something psychological about eating a bowl of pasta rather than a bowl of... I'm trying to think of a polite way to describe it. Let's go with stew. The other hot and savouries that I've had. So Thai green curry makes sense because it's not a million miles away from Thai green curry. But chili, I guess, but it's... They feel a bit more like stews. They don't really have a huge amount of texture. They've got a bit of texture, but it's not the same. This feels like having a meal. And there is something psychological about having a meal, having the pasta in there, that just makes it feel more filling. What's slightly odd, because they don't have the whole grains in them that the others do. Theoretically, that should mean this should make you feel full for less time. But I haven't found that to be the case so far. But yeah, I thought that was quite interesting. I'm definitely enjoying the pasta range. It may be that changes out. I'll have a think about what I would replace. I've got a lot of stock in the cupboard at the moment. Yeah, I need to work through a few before I buy any more. Yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you've got any questions, let me know. Generally, though, my conclusion is they're good. And actually, if you're not 100% sure about hot and savoury, this might be a good introduction for you because it feels more like food that you might be used to. But you know it's only 400 calories. So, yeah. Let me know if you get some. Let me know if you try some. Thank you very much for watching, and bye-bye.